Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the City of Somerville Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, January the 17th, 2024. Pursuant to the Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting of the Somerville Zoning Board of Appeals will be conducted via remote participation. A recording of these proceedings can be accessed at any time using the registration link at the top of the agenda. Joining us tonight, first of all, it is 6:02. And joining us, we have a full board to offer you tonight. Ann Brockelman, she's the co-chair. Catherine Garavaglia, she's our clerk. Ann Fullerton, Zachary Zaremba, and we have two alternates, Brian Cook and Cecia Deglian. For staff tonight, we have Andrew Kraminski, and he's also introducing, I have his name here. What did I do?
Steve Carey.
Thank you. There he is. Okay, Steve Carey. Thank you and welcome. He's going to be a assistant co-planner liaison with the staff and helping out and filling in if Andrew can't make it. Tonight, our agenda is very important. One of the first things that we got to do our minutes. Yes, please. Under general business, minutes for 11:15. Would the clerk please take care of that?
Yes, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 15th of 2023.
May I have a second from the board?
Second.
Seconded by Zach Zaremba. All in favor of the minutes from November 15th, 2023 as presented? Are there any hands going up for any corrections first? Seeing none, may we have the vote on the minutes for January 15th, 2023. All in favor, I'll go around the board. Please say aye. Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Catherine Garavaglia,
Aye.
and that's it. And myself, Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show there are 5 voting members in the positive. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the elections. It's under other business. Under public hearings, there are none tonight. So the elections we go, I hope I do this right. The first is chair, co-chair, and clerk. First on the agenda tonight is chair. Are there any nominations for the chair? Ann Brockelman,
I'd like to nominate Susan Fontano to continue as chair of the ZBA.
thank you. I'd like that. Any other nominations for the chair? No. Seeing no other hands, we'll close the nominations for chair and ask the clerk to call for a vote
Yes,
in a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve having Ms. Fontano continue as chair.
Going around, Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Catherine, Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Catherine Garavaglia,
Aye.
and Ursula Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show it was unanimous vote, 5 votes. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to say I love being chair and I like serving you, and I like to hear from you if ever there are things that you like. Thank you very much for your vote of confidence. I appreciate it. Next is for co-chair. Do I have a nomination, please, for co-chair?
Correction.
I'm sorry.
Chair Fontano,
Yes,
Vice
sir.
Chair. Just want to make
Oh,
sure that.
we're changing that vice. Okay, thank you.
Yep,
Vice
you're welcome.
Chair.
Thank you.
All
Sorry
right,
for the
thank
interruption.
you. Okay, so let the record show we're doing the nominations for vice chair. And I saw hands going up. Can I see them again, please? I have Ann Fullerton and Catherine Garavaglia. Ann Fullerton, do you have a nomination?
I nominate Ann Brockelman as vice chair.
Thank you. Catherine Garavaglia, you had your hand up. Were you gonna,
That was the same nomination, so thank you.
thank you. Okay, great. So are there any other nominations for the vice chair? Hearing none and seeing no hands going up, we'll close the nominations and we'll go for the vote. Could I have a motion by the clerk, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve Ann Brockelman as vice chair.
Okay. May I have do I need a second after the motion? Yes, may I have a second? Yes. I'll second that, okay? All in favor will go around. Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Catherine Garavaglia,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
and Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show it was unanimous for Ann Brockelman to continue doing a great job as the vice chair. Thank you, Ann. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And last but not least, clerk. May I have some nominations for the clerk? Ann Fullerton,
I'd like to nominate Catherine Garavaglia.
okay, I'd like to second that. I was gonna put her in as well. Is there any other nominations for clerk? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close that portion and ask for a motion from the clerk.
Okay.
Catherine, could you give us a motion?
I make a motion to approve Catherine Garavaglia as clerk.
Thank you. Go around for the vote. Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Susan Fontano, aye, and Catherine Garavaglia.
Aye.
Let the record show it was unanimous, all 5 votes for Catherine Garavaglia. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Guess that closes the elections. And the next on the agenda, I just wanted, can I please take a moment to say one thing about the elections and stuff? We've got a lot of new people last year. We're still rebounding from the pandemic and all that jazz. And I think we really have a really good, solid board. All of you have been really doing a good job. Hats off to our 2 alternates, Brian and Cecia. And I'm looking forward to a good 2024 year, and thank you all. All right, so the elections is done. Next is the RPP amendments. Could I have staff? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Fontano. I will gladly give an overview of the amendments to the document.
Thank
So
you.
I hope everyone had an opportunity to review it. They're very minor, simple changes to really clean up the document. The first major just change is the name of the document to be consistent with state law. So we're just switching basically procedure and policy around. So it's going to be rules of procedure and policy, not rules of policy and procedure. I know it's silly, but again, it's just a state law thing that we want to be consistent with. So that's the first change. It's still the RPP though, so that's not changing, which is helpful. The next changes are in the minor site plan approval procedures. As you're aware, there is types of development review proposals requiring site plan review that are minor in nature, meaning that they don't need a board review. They could be reviewed by the director of planning and planning staff at that level. There is not the same steps. There's just a pre-submittal meeting, a submission of a development review application, a staff review stage, and then an issuance of a decision. And then the rest of the steps are just like any other permit. for site plan approval. We're making, staff are suggesting some changes that you have to approve as a board. The planning board has already made these decisions as they're consistent across the board. Of course, the zoning board of appeals is the review board for the neighborhood residents, urban residents, commercial industry and commercial business zoning districts. So you do have some site plan approval duties. These procedures and policies enable planning staff to do this work. So I hope that's clear. That's just a quick overview for those who are not familiar. It's very common though throughout practice. So the first change is just to be, we need to eliminate the reference to modifications of commercial signs because we, as you may remember, there was a zoning amendment last year that made that by right. So it no longer needs site plan approval. So we're just striking that out and getting it out of there. The next change is to ground floor modifications, changes to awnings, entry canopies, sort of storefronts. We added in ground floor to make sure that we're very clear that the changes are only applicable to those on the ground floor. The second major change is the inclusion of the modifications of parking lots limited only to zoning compliant pavement markings and zoning compliant landscape changes can be approved via minor site plan review. That was triggered by a recent case that we have where I believe it's a Whole Foods is just restriping their parking lot. And if there wasn't this change, these projects would have to go through the whole site plan approval process. So we are just proposing to sort of, as that's sort of a minor in nature, you can think of it just as like, if you're going to repaint a house kind of, they're just doing that to a parking lot. Nothing's really changing. Nothing substantial. There would be triggers though in some circumstances that they would need to do major site plan approval. But again, this is just modifications that are limited to zoning compliant pavement markings and landscape changes.
I have a comment.
Absolutely.
In case you want to go forward with what you've been sent with us tonight, it's there's a typo. It says complaint instead of compliant.
Ah, thank you.
Okay, just in case, you're
No, that's
running the
perfect.
stuff off. Okay,
I have made note of that. Thank you for
okay,
calling that out. Appreciate
all
it.
right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then moving on to the last change of these proposed amendments is this type of review doesn't need a staff report like a hardship variance application. So we're just striking out reference to staff report and we're keeping the application review. So that's the proposed changes by staff. Happy to answer any other questions or comments. But again, we're really looking to get this approved and move forward tonight as the planning board already has. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there anybody on the board? Brian?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of minor things. One, through you to Andrew, I assume you're going to renumber the items under 2A.
Yeah,
But-
so the track changes weren't cooperating, so that's why it's off.
Okay,
Again, this is just draft. Everything will be worked out, so it's correct. For some reason, my track changes weren't turning on, so I had to kind of do both manual and track changes. And then now it's showing the blue, so I'm not sure what happened, but thank you for calling that to my attention. We will make sure that is correct. Thank you.
okay. And then just a question about the name of the document. Is it necessary to repeat zoning board of appeals in the name, since the header obviously tells you what rules of procedure and policy they are?
Through you, Madam Chair, to Brian,
Yes.
Member Cook.
Please.
So you probably don't need to. That was just in there from the previous edition. I'm not sure what the planning board's doing, but you're right. It does say in the header zoning board of appeals. That would be a decision I believe that you can make as a board. So
I mean, at
if
a
you
minimum,
want, I
sorry,
can go see what the planning board is doing. We just like being consistent across the board with all the boards that PPZ staff. But again, your document, your RPP. So
Okay, I mean, I don't mean to be pedantic about it, but at a minimum, you don't need the apostrophe. it's not a possessive, it's just zoning board of appeals rules of procedure and policy.
Does anybody have a comment on that?
Yeah,
Catherine, please.
it sounds like we're fine as to substance. We would just like some cleanup for final formatting. Am I understanding the group and our positioning? And it sounds like Andrew's aware of that. Great.
Andrew?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Madam Chair, may I
So
ask a
is-
question?
I was just gonna ask Brian a question.
You first.
For you. Brian, thank you for your comment. If, can we leave it that with staff to be consistent with the other boards? Is that all right with you, where you notice this?
Yes, I was just asking questions. That's fine with me. I
Okay.
don't
All right,
want to make an
great.
issue. All the other changes, of course, are necessary. So it was just a matter of whether there was small items in the document that
Uh,
would be cleanup as is
Right.
suggested.
Great. Andrew?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Are you comfortable with staff making these changes after the vote and just moving forward? And not sharing?
I think the board is, unless somebody wants to raise your hand right now. No,
Of
I
course, I
see
can
no.
share to everyone that with the document once it's finalized as well to make sure you have a copy, but we do also upload this to the city's website.
No, I think with like that, I think with a lot, I think we're happy with what you're saying. We're gonna go through
Fantastic.
this, clean it up, reline it, all that jazz. And
Correct.
be consistent with all the rest of the board, so the city's all on one page. But I think also we would like a copy,
Absolutely.
the board would like one, just to even have up to date on our fingertips whenever we need it.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, I guess, do we have to make a motion, a vote on this, Andrew, to go forward that we are accepting the changes?
Through you, Madam Chair, that is correct. You do need
Thank
to make
you.
a motion.
All right. Catherine, do your stuff, please. Make a motion.
Yes, Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the corrected version of the Zoning Board of Appeals Rules of Procedure and Policy with the corrections mentioned this evening and in conformance with the Planning Board version of the rules.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second,
Seconded.
Seconded by, yes, Andrew?
I just want to make sure that those who are full members can participate in motions. Sorry, Member Cook, I don't mean to call you out. I just want to
Oh,
make
that's
sure.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that was like even the voting tonight. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Okay, so, we have a motion. We're looking for a second. It has to be from
Seconded
a regular, seconded by Zach Zaremba. All in favor, please say aye. Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Susan Fontano, aye. Ann Brockelman,
Aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
and Catherine Garavaglia.
Aye.
Let the record show that it was all five of the regular voting members in the affirmative, and it's passed. Thank you, Andrew. That's that. Now, the next item is our calendar. The review of the calendar for our meetings for this coming year. I just want to say one thing about this, and I appreciate everybody letting Andrew and I know if you can't make meetings. And the reason we're trying to do that is open up that we can see as it tumbles in, who's not coming, who's coming. I personally understand that sometimes we have an emergency at the last couple of hours. But if you have something on your calendar, speak up, let us know sooner than later. It's better. We can mark it down and we can make plans, on what we have to do to go forward. So, Andrew, this is your presentation, I guess, the ZBA calendar. We've all had a look at it. Do you have anything you want to say before we go forward?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No comments from staff. Some dates have changed. I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that from when we previously reviewed the calendar. We had to make some changes in response to the working with the clerk's office. The motion really isn't necessary as the dates are sort of set in stone as they're based off of
Okay.
the city's
Oh,
calendar
good.
and what holidays the city does recognize are the federal holidays. But of course, if you can't make it due to other obligations, you do not have to attend a meeting. That's your prerogative. Just as Chair Fontano said, make sure you let myself and Chair Fontano know you can't make it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you
Does
so much.
anybody have a comment on the calendar? No? Okay, and so that's it. This is it. And if for some personal reason or something you can't make it, you can't make it. I don't know whether I should say this or not, but Zach, I knew Zach was engaged and he just informed us that this weekend coming, he's getting married. So I didn't want your zoning board family here not tell the good news so they can congratulate you and give you best wishes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's great.
A single girl say another one bites the dust. What can we say? Oh, if there's, is there any other business? Does anybody else have anything they want to say? Did I miss anything? No? Andrew, do you have anything you want to tell us from the staff point of view, or is everything all set?
I believe we will have cases at the next meeting. I'm not sure. We have been having less hardship variance applications. I'm not sure what the meeting load's going to be like going into this year, but I'll make
Okay.
sure I provide a good summary of what the meetings will be when I provide the packet the week before.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you for all your help and patience as well.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate it. And so that's it. Without further ado, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
May I have a second?
Second,
Seconded by Ann Brockelman. All in favor, please say aye. Zach Zaremba,
Aye.
Ann Brockelman,
aye.
Ann Fullerton,
Aye.
Catherine Garavaglia,
Aye.
and Susan Fontano, aye. Let the record show, 5 regular members of the voted, all in the affirmative, yeah, right, affirmative. And thank you very much and good night. And the meeting
night.
closes at 6:24.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good night.